House.
Hello and welcome to Dropkick the Commute for August 16th, 2024. This is the COVID-19 episode.
That's right. Mufussy gave me COVID.
Allegedly.
Did you ever get a confirmed positive test?
Yeah, they were both negative. There's no shot. They're both negative. There's no shot. I'm definitely positive. Both my tests were negative. I'm like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah, I mean...
I most certainly have COVID. And I most certainly gave it to you.
You sure did, pal. And
listen, not my fault.
I feel like...
I went on a plane 2 times in 2 weeks. I went on 4 planes in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it
was inevitable.
It's how you spread it.
But hey, you know what? We had fun, right?
Yeah, it was worth it.
It was worth it.
I was yakking up nothing at like 5 a.m.
That's crazy. See,
I haven't thrown up in like 4 years.
That's the crazy thing with this new strand is the first time I had it, there was no puking, there was no sinus stuff. It was just like, oh shit, I feel like I got hit by a truck and also I can't breathe. But now I feel like I got hit by a truck and I have shit coming out of me.
You know what I always forget too is that COVID is a blood disease.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Like someone was telling me to like keep changing your position to avoid like clots.
Yeah.
COVID clots. And I was like, oh yeah, it's like a blood like heart thing.
Yeah.
Which is not good because there's a history of heart disease and heart failure in my family. So I was like, well, if I get heart failure, then
you went out from Bill Murray. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I feel like if anything, I feel like we got it from the concert, not from me flying. I mean, it's very possible I got it from flying, but the fact that it activated in both of us at the same time on the same day, like I feel like it was from the concert.
Yeah, that was pretty sweaty and gross there. We didn't really talk about that either.
Oh, you didn't? Do you want to talk about it quick?
I mean, it was fun. It was good, and it was packed like sardines, and I was slick and slippery wet.
Bro, we were both like drenched when we came out. We're like, ugh. Yeah, it was a sweaty mess. They definitely oversold that place, but it was good.
I'm a sweaty mess now, dude. I can't even I was just doing laundry earlier.
Yeah.
And I have to limit my physical activity because if I do too much, I start to profusely sweat. I don't know. Also, the fever dreams go crazy, dude.
Yeah, they do.
I had a dream where I was on some it had to be wrestling related because all I fucking consume is wrestling these days. Some kind of competition. And the owner of the company's dad, I was dog sitting for him. That's the only 2 things I dream about is dog sitting and wrestling. And I stole something from the guy because he was just being a dick. And then he confronted me about it at the thing, and then we had a match. Also, I meant to say this last week. Somehow the dream is still fresh in my mind, but I had a dream I was on TNA.
Oh, interesting.
And I was working a pay-per-view, and
were you talent or were you recording?
Yeah, I was talent, and they were gonna debut me as me and this other person were gonna debut as Joe Hendry's groupies or wannabe groupies.
Okay.
And so one of them, she goes up to him after he wins his match. And it's oh my God, thank you so much. Can I get a picture? And he's like, yeah. And then and then I also get a picture with him. And then I super kick him and everyone's like, what? And I had adrenaline. I woke up with an adrenaline rush. It was,
oh my God.
It was crazy, dude.
So in your debut, you also just turned heel at the same time?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You know, anything can happen.
Anything can happen in wrestling. Enough COVID talk, enough fever dreams. Let's talk about what people want. Wrestling, baby.
That's true.
In our in-person episode, we covered Collision and all that stuff. Dude, that feels so long ago, but also so I don't know. Time is wacky.
We didn't do an episode this week. That's why.
Yeah, it's true. So we recorded Saturday? No, Sunday. We recorded Sunday and now Friday. So that's really a whole week. The whole world has changed.
basically.
I was gonna say let's start off with Raw, but actually let's talk about the two big AEW announcements that just came out. So AEW is premiering a documentary series called AEW Stories, and they're doing a documentary on last year's All In that is coming out on Monday. So that's pretty exciting.
They're really starting to like pump out more and more doc content.
Yeah.
Which I love. I think there's no such thing as too much when it comes to wrestling and behind the scenes stuff. There's always stuff to be consumed.
It'll be interesting to see the level of kayfabe that they keep, because I feel like with like
I feel like they usually don't.
Right. I was gonna say with WWE there is almost a small amount of kayfabe that they keep into it, because like even with the Cody doc, right? Like I'm sure they had more of a plan, but Cody was like, "Oh, I won," and like it's like all this stuff. I don't know. It's just sometimes the way they talk about the matches where they're like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited I won." It's like, you knew you were winning.
You knew you were going to win.
Triple H told you before you went out there. So, it's going to be interesting to see like what level AEW keeps of kayfabe.
Yeah, I feel like they tend to not kayfabe it a super amount. But regardless, the teaser looked great. And I'm definitely excited. I will also say, just regarding this year's All In, we know they're not going to hit the same numbers that they did last year, but I think they're finally acknowledging that,
right?
Because we can get into it more later, but Swerve on Dynamite with like literally name dropped like in front of 60,000 people or something like that. And I was like, okay, cool. So we're not gonna be delusional and pretend that like
you're gonna sell out Wembley again.
Yeah. Like we all know sadly that's not gonna happen.
How do you feel about the build to All In now, right? Because we were talking about even a couple weeks ago, we were talking about how All In does not feel nearly as big as last year. And the builds were weird, but how do you feel now that we have 8 matches announced on the card and we're so close to it? We're just over a week away. So
after this episode of Dynamite, I actually like started feeling the excitement for it.
Yeah.
Because now it's like it's a week away.
Yeah.
Before I was kind of like, like it hasn't really like the build hasn't felt crazy, and now like this episode was the real like boiling point for a lot of the feuds. And yeah, you're right, and I'm sure that's not going to be the end of the match announcements. You know what I mean?
Right. I feel like we're probably going to get a Stadium Stampede.
You think so?
I feel like we have to, right? I just don't know who it would be between. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like that's a pretty elite-centric match. Yeah. The elite's always involved in it, and it doesn't look like they all got their own matches. So I don't think it's gonna happen.
Fair enough.
I can't think of anything going on right now.
You can't even do like a Blackpool Combat Club because like Danielson's in the main event, and then unless you have like Mox return, but what's he doing?
Everyone's kind of split up doing their own things. I don't think you need a Stadium Stampede for this,
Yeah, I don't think you need one, but
we also don't need to load this match with this card with matches.
Right. We're already at 8. Is that 8 counting the pre-show match or I don't remember. Oh yeah, so it's 9 total because we have 8 on the main card and then the pre-show match. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Like not a lot though for AEW.
Yeah, I know. Usually we get 8 and then 4 pre-show.
Yeah, right.
So, but we'll see.
Yeah. So I think after this week, the hype is kind of we're getting there now. Dynamite's in Cardiff, Wales this week, which is really cool.
And Collision as well.
And Collision. All In's on a Sunday, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And that's actually the last pay-per-view for the year for AEW. That's on a Sunday. The
Oh,
restaurant. Oh no, we have
wait, the rest are on Saturdays?
Yeah, the rest are on Saturdays. All Out's on a Saturday, and then all the ones after that are on Saturdays.
Really?
Because we have 4 more after that. We have All Out. We have Wrestle Dream. We have.
I was gonna say, are they competing at all with
World's
WWE?
End? And no, I don't think
they are.
so. World's End, and then what's the
Good.
Full Gear.
Full Gear.
So they're all on Saturdays. But I like that better, honestly. So I don't have to stay up till fucking 1 a.m. on a Sunday before work.
Yeah, I will not complain, dude.
Yeah. And then the second big AEW announcement is All In Texas has been announced for Globe Life Field in Arlington. Did you know that the mayor of Arlington's name is Jim Ross? No relation.
That's crazy.
No relation. I was like, what the fuck? Because it said Mayor of Arlington, Jim Ross, is excited to bring AEW. I was like, huh?
Not my JR.
Not my JR, but yeah.
Not my JR.
All In Texas has been announced for 2025 with a July date. 40K that stadium holds, so that's pretty exciting.
I think they could do it.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have no problem with 40K.
Yeah. I mean, that's still huge too.
Yeah.
I think
really big. Is it
I think people are gonna
first domestic stadium show, right?
Yeah, I think so. Well, do you count Arthur Ashe? How big's Arthur Ashe?
Oh, true.
23,000. That's like half. So
yeah, so this is our first like massive one.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it'll be good. I think people are gonna use any excuse they can to be like, yeah, but it's not 81,000.
Yeah, and like it's not 100.
And like, yeah, it's disappointing that was probably a one-time thing, at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
But you got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, and it was that, and they also announced that I don't know if this was in the official announcement, but apparently they're also working on an Australia show, which I also don't think they'll have any problem.
Yeah, I was gonna say Australia. Like, I don't know how big of a crowd you could pull in Australia.
Well, like Elimination Chamber, they had WWE had no problem. I think that was like 60K. I'm sure AEW won't have any issues either. So, depending on where they do it, if they do it in Perth like WWE did, or Sydney or whatever, like Perth. Maybe they'll have Big Bronson Reed.
And that'll be Intercontinental.
That'll be the first build to AEW x WWE.
Worlds collide.
Big Bronson Reed as the WWE ambassador.
How's your Intercontinental?
Oh, I got the Intercontinental right behind me.
Oh, there she is.
Right on the shelf.
She's even positioned just like Tonga Loa would hold her.
It's true.
Wow.
There's nothing holding her up. She's just sitting there.
I love that.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So yeah, pretty big stuff for AEW. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Some big announcements. And then they are returning to Wembley for 2026. Tony Khan said. So I don't know.
So they're just taking like a break.
They're taking a year off, yeah.
Look, I don't think they'd make these big moves if they didn't like have some kind of plan or like some kind of like good feeling that like.
And with these moves, like, I think it just goes to show that Tony Khan is not worried about tanking.
He's not worried, but he's also just like a little bit Delulu.
Yeah,
like we know that. We know that.
Like, I don't know. He'd have to pull something big to get another 80K for Wembley in 26.
I mean, look, 50, 60K is not bad.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Still a fuck ton of people. That show's gonna go crazy.
Right.
And who knows? You might get some last minute ticket sales. I think I can look right now.
Maybe they'll lower them. Start handing them out. $50 all in Wembley. Sorry, 50 pounds. 50 quid.
50 quid.
You telling me I can go see Will Ospreay for 50 quid?
God. I'm trying to find
I'm sorry to any UK listeners, if there are any.
I love British people. Don't get it twisted.
Oi, bruv. I'm gonna go see Will Ospreay beat MJF for 50 quid.
God. Let's hop into the show, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it. Monday Night Raw. Dude.
Roll.
Let's start off with Rhea Bloody Ripley coming out and doing a nice little promo saying that Dom's got a small dick.
True.
Basically,
He doesn't go deep enough.
Doesn't go deep enough. You stab me in the back, but not deep enough. And then Dom and Liv come out, and he goes, "Hey, you want another reason I'm with Liv? She gives me tendies whenever I want. She lets me play video games whenever I want. She treats me like a man, and I'm her daddy."
God. He's like, do you know how humiliating it is to be a grown man and call someone mommy?
And she goes, "You liked it. You liked it." She's yelling it from the ring.
Yeah.
And Damien appears behind him.
Oh yeah, that was great. That image. Damien just shows up behind him. They all brawl throughout the arena and concessions and all that good stuff. We get everything back down to the ring. Damian Priest is facing Carlito, and Carlito is very taped up. This guy, not only was he like not really in like his usual ring gear, which I guess he hasn't ever since he's been in Judgment Day. He just kind of wrestles in clothes. He was pretty taped up, but you know, Damian Priest takes out Carlito pretty easily.
Yeah.
And then the Judgment Day, attack Damian afterwards. Rhea Ripley kind of comes to make the save. We get a very cool announcement for Bash in Berlin. Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest, the Terror Twins, versus the power couple Liv Morgan and Dominic, Dirty Dom Dom.
Which we predicted.
We sure did, and we're the only ones to ever predict that.
The only ones ever. I just want to say, I love how much they are, because it's happening on SmackDown and Raw, how much they're going from segment to match, right? Without like entrances. That happened on this episode where they had that whole opening segment. Carlito came out and then it went right into their match. And I fucking love that. It flows really well. And like, you don't get their entrance, but you don't need it.
It saves time.
Yeah, it's a good time saver, and it works. It works really well. I love it.
Definitely.
Xavier Woods.
He's not joining the Final Testament.
He's not joining the Final Testament, but he still is not. He's not vibing, bro. He's not vibing with Odyssey Jones.
I can't say I really blame him. It almost feels like a lot of people feel like they're. I feel like Big E is not a hole you can fill in the New Day. You know, or he will always be a member of the New Day. And I don't think you can add anyone to the New Day because they've been a team since like 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
I love Odyssey Jones. He's very people love him too, but yeah, I don't know. I think they're trying to drive this narrative that like he's going to drive a wedge between them, and honestly, you break up the New Day, this is a terrible decision. Even if they're not as relevant on TV these days, that is a team that I feel like you do not mess with. You let fizzle out on its own, if at all. Yeah, Big E probably. Well, Big E is definitely not going to wrestle again, it seems. But I don't know. You can have Odyssey Jones. Like, this is definitely a good storyline to get him over in. But like, I don't know. He doesn't need to be a member of the New Day, in my opinion. And the Final Testament too are like trying to like bug Xavier Woods too. Like Karrion Kross was like, he's trying to replace Big E, and he's trying to replace you, which I think is also so goofy, like for his character to be like, well, looks like you better watch your teammate, pal. I mean, this beef has been going on for how many months now, and it's just like, okay.
I do not vibe with that group. I don't. Does anyone really like?
I think it's just one of those situations where I don't know if Karrion Kross can be saved here. I really don't. Like he had his high.
And then what do you do with everyone else though? Like
Akam and Razor can be a tag team on their own. They were before. They tend to try and put them with people. Like they put them with Seth when he was doing the whole Messiah thing.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to. Paul Ellering can just go back home, sit on the couch, and Scarlett just follows Karrion Kross wherever. Like this is just a faction to be a faction. It doesn't really do anything for anyone. If I were WWE, and this sounds shitty to say, but like I would just like cut him loose, let him go on the indies. They fired him. a while back and then took him back. I don't know why.
We had a really funny segment. I think they did this once before, but we had Raw Physics with Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. And they went over the how many pounds of force Big Bronson Reed let loose on Seth. And that shit was funny, bro.
Yeah, and as we found out soon after that happened, they're keeping Seth off TV, it looks like.
Yeah.
It looks like he's got some actual injuries that maybe he came back a little too soon, which I figured as much because he did come back pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So this was their way to take him out of the picture for a little bit, which I think is a good idea. I don't know. They'll have him come back when he's all good, but probably when this Drew CM Punk thing kind of ends, and then CM Punk and Seth will likely have their own separate feud, which will be good.
Their next feud, yeah. Pete Dunne is Angie. He's going all around still. Raw and NXT, and he's an angry boy. How dare you call me Butch? That's his motivation. Still,
I can't blame the guy.
Yeah.
But just, I'm glad they're giving him a mic and having him talk, because he can talk. Him being quiet too is like very normal, but like he's like very convincing when he's talking. But again, still like seems like they're involving him in both Raw and NXT, which is very interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice.
So it looks like he's finally gonna go up against Sheamus.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this week or next week. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's the next coming episode. They're having a match. So
I have a question. Why did SmackDown have Isla Dawn and Alba Fire getting squashed essentially, but then Raw had them like on top? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't fucking know, dude.
I
don't know what they're doing.
That match ended in a DQ, yeah? The Raw match? It did.
Raw? Yeah.
Yeah, they had a number one contenders match, Damage Control versus Pure Fusion Collective, which you don't like the name. I think it's a pretty killer name.
I don't know. Maybe it'll grow on me.
It's because they're MMA fighters.
Yeah, cool.
I don't know. I like the faction.
Mixing the style. The faction is fine. I don't know how I feel about the name. I don't know.
Is it the word fusion that gets you?
No, Pure Fusion Collective. You're fusing. You don't need fusion and collective, because you're fusing the styles. Just make it Pure Fusion, or I don't know. I don't have a better name. That's why I don't work for WWE.
Write an angry email to Trips.
Listen here, Trips.
Anyways, they had the Unholy Union. Is that what they're called? Alba and Isla.
Oh, yeah.
They had them at ringside watching. Someone got knocked into them. And then, unfortunately, though it was an accident, they were not going to let that slide. And this was a number one contenders match, too, which that, too, had me like, huh? Like, I thought Jade and Bianca were going to be number one contenders. Like, what's going on? And then they attacked them, ended in a DQ match, and that's that.
I don't know what they're doing.
I think what they'll probably do, they tend to do this a lot with the women's tag belts, but like they will have they'll have like a 4-way tag team match and put the belts on the line. They love doing that with these, and I feel like that's where this is going.
Yeah.
And then what they're probably gonna do is like find some way to have Jade and Bianca win while protecting Alba and Isla like they need to.
Right.
Even though they don't need to, because they're not being presented that way. Very, very confusing, pointless match.
It's very weird. Like, we already ranted about those two titles, and I don't know. They don't know what the fuck they're doing with them. I don't think anyone does. It's very strange. We had another golden R-Truth segment this week that I thought was so funny.
Poor guy.
R-Truth is in the back and talking to Miz is down on his luck. He's like, man, fuck. I want the Intercontinental. And, he's like all mad. And R-Truth is like, hey, man, I got you a match. I got you a match against Bron. And he goes, He goes, Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title? He goes, no, that big guy, Bronson Reed. And he's like, R-Truth, that's not Braun Breaker. He doesn't have the Intercontinental title. He goes, oh, ain't that the guy that killed Seth? And he's like, yes. And then Randy Orton comes out in the camera, and he goes, and he's like, guys, what's going on? And he's like, R-Truth just got me a match against Bronson Reed. And he goes, oh, ain't that the guy that killed Seth? He's like, yes. And so Miz has a match against Bronson Reed. Actually holds his own for a little bit there. It was a pretty impressive match. But unfortunately, he goes to do the tsunami to Miz, and R-Truth takes a bullet for him, 6 bullets for him, and gets tsunamied many, many times. And R-Truth is dead. He's dead.
And people are still going nuts for it.
Yeah, dude, every single time he went up, that crowd went crazy.
I gotta say, this didn't hit as hard as when he did it to Seth.
No, it didn't.
And I hope they're smart with it and don't like beat a dead horse.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I want it to be his thing that he just keeps jumping from the top because someone like him should not be jumping that high. But they should be smart with it.
Give me a tsunami from the fucking turnbuckle to the commentary table. Do you think he could make that jump?
I don't think he could reach.
Yeah,
that'd be crazy. He'd have to practice. Give me Bronson Reed versus Bron Breakker.
Oh, please.
Book it. Yeah. Oh, we had Randy Orton and Gunther.
Oh yeah, Randy Orton and Gunther had a little face off here, and Gunther was like, hey, you're a mistake, like you've made many mistakes in your life, and you're a fuck up and all that stuff. And Randy Orton's like, hey, I may be a fuck up, but at least I fixed my mistakes and all this stuff. And then Drew came out and like stared at them. And then CM Punk jumped over the barricade and started beating the shit out of Drew.
Yeah.
So, how'd you feel about this segment? I thought it was a little wacky.
I didn't really feel any way about it.
I think I'm the same. I was just like, oh, that happened.
Yeah. CM Punk did clear up some stuff a little backstage.
Yeah.
He gained a little respect back from me, where he was like, it's not about the goddamn bracelet. It's about the names on the bracelets.
Yeah.
And he's like, he was pulled a Will Smith. He was like, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Now that it's like out there and he said it, and it's like,
okay, it's good.
Yeah, you're not fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Their segment didn't really hold a lot of weight this week. It was just kind of
I thought one thing that was cool, and they talked about this on Busted Open. I know I reference Busted Open like every week, but I fucking watch them, and
he loves Bully Ray.
I appreciate what they do. Mostly Dave LaGreca, but I don't know. Bully Ray said some good things, and this was actually one of Bully Ray's. So yeah, I guess I like Bully Ray. He fucking one of the things that he pointed out was Gunther did the whole thing with like, oh, you're never going to RKO me, like all this stuff. And then he turns around for, they're staring as Drew's music is playing. They're not cutting away from Drew and Randy, or from Gunther and Randy. They're not cutting away. They're staring at each other. And then the second Gunther turns away, he RKOs him. It cuts backstage to Punk. And Gunther is backstage pissed off.
Oh, he's pissed. Yeah.
And he's like, God damn it. And CM Punk's like, the fuck?
Yeah.
And he like looks over his shoulder. But you could tell like it showed like more emotion from Gunther that you don't usually get, because he was all fucking pissed off backstage, And that was a cool thing that they pointed out that I didn't notice right away.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. I'm excited for Randy and Gunther.
Yeah, I am too.
That'll be a good match. We know what they can do. Do you think they're gonna try to do a CM Punk McIntyre match for Berlin?
I think they'll probably save it for Bad Blood. That's what I think. It makes more sense. I don't know what they're aiming for Bad Blood.
Bad Blood's October, right?
Yeah, or maybe they'll do like a 2 out of 3. Maybe they'll do like.
I could see them doing their second match, and then the rubber match kind of be at Bad Blood, and that'll like end things.
Yeah.
Maybe they do some kind of like, I don't know, like an I Quit match or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of 2 out of 3, though,
Yeah, that was a good segue right there, baby. Woo, woo, woo.
we had Intercontinental Champion Bron Breakker versus Sami Zayn. 2 out of 3 falls, and we
Do you want to know my one note for this match?
that he launched Sami like a lawn dart.
I wrote Sami fucking died.
Yeah, that was gnarly. They had us in the first half. Well, I don't even say that. I knew exactly how they were gonna play this out. They're gonna make you think that Sami had the upper hand, and then Bron Breakker just cooked him.
Absolutely.
What happened? Like
that
Sami
man.
Zayn overall just lowered from like 90 to like 75 in like the span of 2 weeks.
Hey,
Like,
we can't complain. That's what we wanted.
no, I know it's what we wanted. I was just like, I want to know why did we make a mistake in the first place? You know?
Yeah.
I love 2 out of 3 falls matches though. I think
Yeah, I do too.
the last time we had one in wrestling was the Bang Bang Gang versus FTR, and they had that like hour-long fucking on Collision or something like that earlier this year.
It's interesting because like you have the Heritage Cup very frequently on NXT, but it's not like a straight up 2 out of 3 falls. You know, you have the breaks
'cause
in
it's
between.
timed. Yeah.
But yeah, the two I also really enjoy 2 out of 3 falls. I feel like I don't know. Most of the time you know how they're gonna go, but still,
Yeah.
they're entertaining.
Yeah, they definitely sold it. Braun did a good job of selling. Like Sami Zayn, like had the advantage.
Yeah.
But he killed him. Like,
Yeah.
and then I guess after Raw went off the air, they had like a little, they like shook hands or something, showed a little respect, and Sami.
They didn't even shake hands. They just stared at each other and nodded.
Oh, it was
and
like
that's
an
it.
acknowledgement.
Yeah, it's
kind
like
of
an acknowledgement. Yeah.
Yeah, and Sami Zayn cut one of his Sami Zayn promos, and I hope we see him and Jay involved in that Bloodline story.
Yeah.
That's where I'm hoping he goes with that.
Yeah, I hope so too. So we had NXT next. We had a lot of Joe Hendry this week.
Dude, he's everywhere.
They're pushing him hard, man.
I'm here for it.
He is officially going for the NXT championship. He's like, I want to go for that thing. That's going to be mine. I'm going to be the first TNA superstar to get the NXT championship. And I believe it was officially announced that he's going to be in a triple threat next week.
Yes, it's him, Wesley, someone else, and I literally have it open and I can fucking hang on, give me a sec. Pete Dunne, Joe Hendry, Wesley.
Oh yeah, Pete Dunne.
Yeah, duh.
I forgot. Yeah, because he's fucking everywhere. So, and I believe the winner of that triple threat is going to be the number 1 contender to face Ethan Page at No Mercy. Is that correct?
Yes.
When is No Mercy?
No Mercy is September 30th. Oh wait, sorry, that was last year's.
Oh,
September 1st. Even quicker.
are you fucking kidding me?
It's the day after Bash in Berlin. So there were a lot of layers to this. Ethan Page came out, and he's like, I defeated Oro Mensah. Joe Hendry came out, I'm going to challenge for the NXT championship. And then Wesley, out of nowhere, super kicks Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
Wesley is in his villain arc.
Yeah.
He says, I'm going to win.
Pretty much.
And then Pete Dunne says, no, I'm going to win. Even though I'm on 2 programs at the same time.
In 2 different feuds, not relating to...
Yeah. Yeah. So triple threat next week, winner faces Ethan Page. Booker T's really leaning into the, you gotta kill him with a smile. Oh, he's like, I love that song, man.
I love that song, man.
Joe Hendry's over as hell, dude.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it. They didn't do it with the TNA title. Give it to Joe Hendry. Give the NXT title to Joe Hendry.
I would go crazy.
They'll make headlines.
First
Headlines.
cross.
If I had it my own way, man. If they gave me the pencil.
You believe in Joe Hendry. We're getting a Gauntlet Eliminator women's match.
Hell yeah, brother. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean this in the nicest way possible. When they were picking the numbers, I couldn't tell you who was who. In the nicest way possible. Like
Dude.
that, like this new wave of NXT girlies. I'm sorry. I respect. I swear to God, I respect all of them. I just don't know them. Like I could pick out like Carmen Petrovic and like Sol Ruka, and then like the ones that we've kind of seen very frequently, and then like Ren Sinclair.
Yeah.
But like A lot of them are just blonde girlies.
Whoever is recruiting the NXT women has like
Has a thing for blondes.
blonde
No,
gymnasts.
and hey, look, go off. I think the reason we can pick out Carmen is that, like, again, we've seen her a lot. We've seen Sol Ruca a lot, but like, they have distinct looks to them,
Right.
other than just being blonde. Yeah, we had those numbers get picked, and it's a six woman match. Yeah,
I believe so.
so it's Ren Sinclair, Adriana Rizzo, Sol Ruca, Jada Parker, Kendall Gray, and Carmen Petrovic. So the only one out of those 6 that I don't really know is Kendall Gray.
Yeah.
And I only know of Ren Sinclair because they've been doing that stuff with No Quarter Catch Crew, and like she's like a member of them now.
Out of that, do you have a pick other than like?
I
don't
feel like
know.
it's got to be like, I would say Sol Ruca, but she just had that match with
Yeah, I feel like they're still
with
waiting
Alani.
to push her for some reason
Well, I think she should win the North American title first.
before she goes to the NXT Women's. Yeah.
They could do Sol Ruca or like Jada Parker. I feel like Ren Sinclair and Adriana Rizzo, because the family and the No Quarter Catch Crew, they're gonna get into a separate beef.
Yeah.
Maybe Carmen Petrovic. I don't know. I'm gonna say Jada Parker.
That's a good pick, I think.
What about you?
I think I think that makes the most sense out of that. Obviously,
I
I
don't
want
know.
Sol Ruca to win, but
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good pick. Is Jada Parker?
We'll see that next week. We had NXT Heritage Cup match. Tony D'Angelo, Charlie Dempsey. The rematch.
Yeah.
I think it's been since May. It went to 5 rounds, I want to say.
Yeah, I believe so.
But it was thanks to Ren Sinclair.
It was. She we had a slight little interference from her. Like halfway through, which I thought was really funny. Charlie Dempsey was down a fall, and she's like, "You dumb bitch, come on!" And she's like slapping the shit out of him. She's like, "Get your head in the game."
She like brings this weird like energy that they don't have.
Right.
They just kind of seem like a bunch of dudes that are just kind of like, yeah, we wrestle.
Yeah, we're
catch wrestling.
Yeah, and then she's like, ah!
Yeah.
So she gets in there and like slaps him, and she's like, "Come on!" He's like, "What are you doing, bro? Like, what the fuck?" And then he gets a fall, and then later on, she grabs what's his face's leg, trips him.
D'Angelo.
Yeah, Tony D'Angelo. She grabs his leg, trips him, and Charlie Dempsey gets the win.
I'm learning a lot about No Quarter Catch Crew this week. I learned, it took me a while to realize that they wrote Damon Kemp off TV by killing him, because he like wouldn't listen to them. So that's when they shoved him in the trunk, and Ren Sinclair was like the witness.
Yeah.
I learned that Miles Bourne is deaf.
Really?
He's like mostly deaf, and that's like part of his character too. So when they were doing that, I rewatched the shoving in the trunk scene. Charlie Dempsey was like, "What do we say, boys? Follow the rules, right?" And then Tavion Heights is like, "Yeah, follow the rules." And then he looks over at Miles and goes, Miles. And he was like, "What's up, Charlie?" And he goes, "What do we say?" And he goes, "Follow the rules." And like, it's not just a character thing. I looked more into it. He's actually deaf.
He's actually deaf.
And then I also learned that Damon Kemp, who is no longer signed to WWE, is the brother of Gable Steveson, Olympic gold medalist, who was also signed to WWE for 4 years that they did nothing with. And now Gable Steveson plays in the NFL. So
interesting.
a lot of crazy things. They basically signed Gable Steveson, and they made it a huge fucking deal because they pulled him straight from the Olympics in 2020, and they were like, "This is our new promising young athlete." And then
wasn't there like major outcry because he is, I'm pretty sure, a alleged rapist.
Oh yeah, he's like a terrible fucking human being.
Yeah, alleged, but also there's like damning evidence.
Alleged, but yeah, whatever.
Like
fucking,
most definitely happened, and you're a piece of shit. Human, get out of here.
God,
no one wants you here.
But yeah. Anyways, we had Obafemi's Open Challenge, which you kind of knew was gonna be Otis answering that challenge after he was on Raw the night before.
Yeah.
Then they put the little thing in the corner. Obafemi Open Challenge. It's like, and damn, this match went hard.
It was so good.
It was actually a really good match. Uh, I've never seen Otis wrestle a good
Otis
match.
was so over.
Yeah.
So over in that crowd, dude. It was incredible. Dude, the moment he did the caterpillar and then did that elbow drop and Oba kicked out, I was like, holy shit, man.
Dude, and yet somehow Obafemi was still so over in his own right.
Yeah.
Tozawa was trying to like hype him up, and Obafemi just fucking decked him.
Fucking obliterated Tozawa.
Oh, it was so good. Match ends with Obafemi with the gnarliest powerbomb to Otis that I've ever seen. I think the only time I've ever seen anyone powerbomb Otis. There was a segment backstage with the family, and they were like, "How do you feel after losing the Heritage Cup match?" And they start talking, and Obafemi just immediately interrupts, and he goes, "I'm still the North American champion." And he's just like, "I'll take any fucking challenger any day. I'll obliterate you. It does not matter."
I loved it. And then the biggest thing of the night, massive change. We got new NXT tag champs. Chase U officially have gold again.
Yeah, I was wondering how this happened, because didn't they just defend the tag team championships last week against MSK?
Axiom and Nathan Frazier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a tag title match. So did we just like decide? I don't want to be misconstrued. I love
that. We had that other promo or segment last week where Rich Holland was like at the front of the class, and he's like, "Listen, I know you guys." Yeah, it was kind of like a just happened randomly match, but we did have that segment, and
I'm happy with it. I'm happy with Chase U winning the championship.
Yeah, Rich Holland was standing at the front of the class, and he's like, "Hey, I know you guys need some trust, so I spoke to Ava, and we're gonna have a tag match, and we're gonna bring gold back to Chase U." And it's like, okay,
dude, Rich has like
he's got some pull.
Rich is putting the moves on Ava is what he's doing. Yeah. He's like. He's got some kind of charm going on where he's just like getting people title matches. Like he's single-handedly gotten Chase U like 3 different title matches in 3 different divisions.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, I spoke to Ava and you have a match. I spoke to Ava, you have a match." So but yeah, this was absolutely massive, and I didn't really see it coming, but I absolutely loved it. I loved it, and
I loved it too, and the celebration was great, and also I feel like there wasn't any miscommunication between Axiom and Frazier either. Like it's funny because they're like on the same page this time, and they acknowledge that, but this time they lost.
Right.
So that I feel like that was a nice touch, and this will be a nice fun way to. Man, why is Andre Chase wrestling in a sweater? That's crazy.
It's so crazy.
I'm just sweating thinking about that, and
dude,
that's not because I have
he's wearing
COVID.
Like 2 layers too. It's not even just the sweater. He's wearing clothes and then the sweater on top of it. And I'm like, how are you doing?
Sweatpants.
And it's a thick fucking sweater, dude.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I don't know, man.
But he's doing it, and they all looked good doing it, and it was crazy, dude. The confetti fucking came down, and it was gnarly. A great celebration. It was really good stuff.
Big love to Chase U.
Let's hop over to AEW, shall we?
Great episode.
Cover this quickly somewhat. Dynamite was fucking great. It was
fantastic
really good
episode, dude. Like I said, this got me hyped up for All In. Like this like made me realize, okay, this is real kind of thing,
I want to start off right at the beginning because it was fucking action packed. We had Jay Lethal versus Hangman, Adam Page, and right in the beginning, Jay Lethal fucking dove outside of the ring. He did 5 suicide dives in a row to Hangman. And I was like, this is crazy. The cardio that man went through, I was like, holy shit. Just boom, boom, boom. And Hangman kept taking it. And I was like, okay. It was almost like they were trying to recreate the tsunami from fucking Bronson Reed, but it was Jay Lethal just fucking went for it, dude. It was so good.
I'm trying to figure out what they're gonna do with Hangman if they're gonna do anything for All In.
Do you think he's gonna interfere in some way?
I think he has to.
And Swerve's gonna win by DQ or something?
No, I don't think they're gonna end it in a DQ. I think we're gonna have Danielson winning that match.
I don't want him to.
I don't think I care.
I don't want him to because I think the video package this week for Danielson absolutely cooked.
It was so good, but it did make me be like, damn, This is like real.
Yeah, I know, and that's the point.
They got the rights to fucking Green Day.
Yeah. Dude, they got the Green Day rights, so it's like, okay, they're making this shit feel special. It's like, make this his last match, man. It's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, I feel like Hangman will interfere somehow.
Maybe what they'll do, hear me out. I'm going to book it.
Fantasy book your heart away, King.
Yeah, they're going to have a crazy match. It's going to be like 40 minutes. 40 minutes into it, Danielson's fucking getting his shit kicked in, right? Hangman comes out, interferes, and they call the bell. And then they do kind of what they did last year where it ended in a draw, right?
5 more minutes.
But Hangman or Swerve is like, no. I'm not winning by a DQ. We're going to make this match go on for real. And then fucking Danielson wins. And then
maybe.
And then Danielson's like, man, I was done and I was okay with it. And then he's like
just let me retire.
Now I have this belt. Yeah. I don't want it.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens. That's one of the ones that I'm not so like entirely sure about. But yeah, Hangman went over.
Yep.
As expected, just taking out the entire
roster,
Jarrett family.
Yeah.
Whatever that faction you want to call them. We had a backstage segment with Pac where he was like, "Hey, why does Ospreay get to skip the line? I literally won like a #1 contenders match like 3 weeks ago," which is true, and I forgot about it.
I also forgot about it.
I was like, when are we gonna have that? And so
he was like, why does he get to skip the line for the international title? First of all, he's calling it the international title, not the American Championship.
Good.
Right? Good. He's like, why does he get to skip the line? And he's like, okay, whatever. He gets to skip the line, but I get to face the winner.
Right. He's facing them the week after.
At All Out. 2 weeks later. Yeah.
Oh, 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
I feel like Ospreay's going to win.
I think so.
They did a good little segment to build their match. We saw that MJF had a match on Rev Pro Wrestling against Michael Oku for the American Championship. You know, he kept adding insult to injury. He was about to Tiger Driver 91 the dude's wife or fiance or whatever, and then Will Ospreay came out and saved the day, and that was cool.
Oi, bro, nobody should do that move ever.
Someone's gonna do it at All In.
Ospreay's gonna do it, I think.
What else?
Darby and Jack Perry backstage. Jack Perry attacked Darby.
Darby got attacked by Jack Perry, and then he lowered the like big garage door on his chest. What he was gonna do is take one of those like road cases and just fucking slam it into his head and kill him.
Yeah.
But the security actually did their job this time. Very proud of them.
Yeah.
And then as they were kind of breaking them up, you could hear him say like, I want you in a coffin match," which is cool. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a coffin match in a while.
We haven't seen it since the last All In, right?
I think so.
So, that'll go hard.
Tony Khan did not hesitate. Made that shit official. We had a segment from Mariah May. Just more hype to their match, you know.
Yeah.
She said some shit like, your biggest mistake was being alive at the same time as me, which is so insane to say.
Crazy.
Good stuff. A lot of just like little backstage segments. Mina Shirakawa was interviewed and was like, How are you with Mariah and Tony? She's like, I haven't spoken to either of them.
She's like, I don't believe this. How could they have so much hate for each other? They loved each other.
Do you see her like showing up in that match and like trying to be a peacemaker?
Maybe she'll come out and be like, guys, don't fight.
They're gonna kill each other.
Yeah, they're gonna absolutely destroy each other.
And she ended the segment by saying, I just hope nobody gets seriously hurt.
Yeah. We had another backstage segment with Castagnoli and Okada.
I thought this was gonna happen at Wembley. It's not. It's happening on Dynamite.
Right. It's happening on Dynamite, which is interesting.
What?
Yeah.
Have Okada fight a match at Wembley. What?
Right. Absolutely insane. I don't know. But Okada and Castagnoli are gonna, fight next week on Dynamite, and of course, Okada looks at him and goes, "Good luck, bitch."
Yeah.
And then Yeah, Castagnoli was like, "Oh, you're going down, fucking bozo."
Yeah, after Okada went off screen, Claudio was like, I hate this shit. Like he's like, I want like the G1 like
Yeah.
Okada. I want the Tokyo Dome Okada. And he said in Wales next week, you'll have 99 problems and this bitch ain't one.
Yeah. So good.
That match is going to go very hard.
It is.
I
It
am
is gonna go
very
hard.
convinced.
It's just crazy. It's not at all in, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was under the impression.
Yeah.
Regardless, we really did have a lot of backstage segments.
There's a lot. The other backstage segment we had was with Renee and Christian Cage, and she was like, "Yo, man, why'd you like fuck up your number one the number one contenders match for your trios titles?" And he's like, "Listen, Renee, go be a mom or whatever. Let me talk. You're probably a worse mom than you are an interviewer." And,
Oh, man.
he's like, "Yeah, you know, we're the best trios tag team ever, and you guys suck." Pretty much, like.
We're gonna get Nick Wayne versus Kip Sabian on Rampage, which I don't know, they've been building, I guess, but no one really cares.
I
So,
will forever stand by the fact Rampage.
I just wish you were alive.
Rampage,
I wish you were alive for its golden era.
I was. That's when I first started watching. I watched the first dance and then I watched All Out. That's when that shit happened, bro.
Yeah, but you didn't watch Rampage. We had an interview with Hook. I'm moving on.
Yeah,
we had an interview with Hook, hyping up the Chris Jericho FTW championship match. He basically said, I want my championship match right now. Chris Jericho came out with his Goonies, and he said, "Hey guys, hi Hook." He was
Hi,
like, Hook, you sure are one stupid son of a bitch. Just slowly just getting more and more delusional, and not giving a shit. He's like, "You're not getting a fight tonight. We'll have it at Wembley Stadium, but only if you fight Big Bill next week on Dynamite." Big Bill takes the mic and he goes, "Hook, I'm gonna beat you so badly, and then I'm gonna shove you up Taz's ass." I was like, what the fuck?
And then Brian Keith took it and said, "Up his ass."
Yeah. Oh
Took
my
it
God.
And fucking dude, Hook's eye patch. He's like got the eye patch on and the fucking beanie that's like barely on his head. That's like sticking way up.
So yeah, we'll have the Redwood versus Hook.
Yeah.
It'll be great. And then finally we had our World Tag Team Championship match between the Acclaimed and the Young Bucks. And you know what's crazy? Is that it ended in a fucking
DQ.
disqualification. I love FTR, but get them out of here.
We don't need FTR and Young Bucks at Wembley. We don't need it. We could have had this.
That's what we're having. It looks
they waited this fucking long to have this match. Why not just have the Acclaimed face the Young Bucks at Wembley, bro?
I would be so pissed. So now, Saturday on Collision, Christopher Daniels said, "There's only one way to do this." Saturday on Collision, that FTR has to face the Acclaimed, who clearly got screwed.
Right.
FTR has to face the Acclaimed, and the winner will get that match with the Young Bucks. It's like,
that's the only way.
Dude,
that's the only way to do it.
Oh, really? That's the only way. What about restart the match and tell FTR that they'll get fired if they fucking. Where's the authority? You know, Excalibur. I'm reading this off of the results, but I remember Excalibur saying, "Insane announcement for Collision," and I just remembered to myself, I was like, I do not care.
Yeah. They got absolutely screwed, and it was so goofy.
Some people don't care for the Acclaimed anymore. I just say, like, given the circumstances, I wish they were dealt a better hand in this feud.
Right.
And if FTR and the Bucks face off, FTR, I need them to win. I don't want the Bucks to hold the tag titles anymore. This was their first title defense.
It's true.
And they even drove it home even more by saying they were the most winningest tag team champions of all time in AEW, and this was their first title defense.
Yeah.
No.
So goofy.
Yeah. And then Swerve versus Wheeler Yuta.
Oh, I didn't care about this match.
I liked it. Swerve's feeling like a real heel though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which I don't.
The ending I
I don't.
liked, but I didn't
Yeah.
care about the match itself because it was just.
Oh,
whatever.
I did. I personally love Wheeler Yuta, and I
Yeah.
just liked the idea that Swerve was just like beating Yuta at his own game, using kind of Danielson's like moves and stuff like that. And he's just like, your family's gonna be at Wembley. I'm gonna beat you even worse than I beat this guy up. Danielson is checking on Yuta, making sure he's all right, and then Swerve came into the ring and just hit him with the gnarliest fucking house call.
Absolutely insane.
Danielson sold that like a rag doll.
The
was
house
so good.
call is so fucking
Such a good
brutal,
move.
dude.
Such a good move.
Just a side kick to the fucking head.
He does it so effortlessly too.
I know. It's crazy.
This is really cool. For me, it added some emotion to the match, and Danielson, that video package again was like pretty serious, and Excalibur kind of saying that like this could be the last time we see Danielson wrestle. So,
have you seen the match card has also gotten progressively like crazier? Have you seen it? The picture of that?
What do you mean?
Like the picture,
like
the graphic for
yeah, it's called the Final Countdown.
It's called the Final Countdown, but every single week they've added like a little bit more to it, and now it's like boom, the Final Countdown, and it's like a fucking crazy graphic.
The Final Countdown: Swerve versus Bryan Danielson, title versus career, AEW World Championship. If Bryan Danielson loses, he has to retire. If Swerve wins, he retains. They go crazy with the graphics.
He makes Bryan Danielson retire.
Yeah,
keeps going. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. So I don't know. I really think this is it for Danielson. I want it to be at least.
I think it would be good for him to hang it up here, and also, again, it's feeling like Tony Khan is just trying to like give Bryan Danielson what he deserves, essentially, even though Danielson doesn't seem to care too much. But if Swerve won this match, that would be huge. And then we could also get a world title match between Swerve and Hangman, which I don't necessarily think you need. But if a world title's on the line between Swerve and Hangman, this is like their fourth match with each other, like, why not? I don't know. There's a million different ways you could spin how this goes, but we won't really know until next Sunday.
Woo!
And it's during the day.
AEW. AEW. Yeah, that's exciting. I'm excited. It's gonna be a banger.
And then like 4 pay-per-views after that.
We're gonna be behind. We're gonna be a little delayed, and you know what? It's fine.
We have lives,
You know how we could not have lives outside of this?
I don't like it.
Give us money.
Give us money.
Make it our life.
Yeah, make this. Yeah. Make this a sustainable venture, please.
Yeah. Link in the description if you want to donate to our Ko-Fi. If not, you can support in other ways. Keep on liking, subbing, following, all that stuff. TikTok's been going crazy, guys. Keep on doing everything on the TikTok. It's been gnarly.
Yeah, thank you all for not caring about reading the other comments. I love all of you.
Wait, so Okada is Chuck Norris?
Wait, Luchasaurus? They call him Killswitch now?
There was a guy who commented that was like, bro, I've seen you reply to so many people about Killswitch. Like, there was a guy who commented that, and I said, bro, people don't read the comments.
Yeah, it's true.
It was.
What are you gonna do?
There's been so many, but you
know who does read the comments? Us.
So keep on liking and commenting and all that.
That's
stuff.
right. And don't forget to dropkick COVID out of your immune system.
Yeah,
folks.
we're gonna go sleep.
Yeah, I'm gonna go sweat. Take a shower even.
I might shower too. You know what? Let's shower at the same time.
Let's shower together. Mwah.
Okay, here I come. I'm gonna give you more COVID. Beep beep.
Dropkick the commute, shining bright in the night.